Is Sam here then? He's
know,
showing up on my thing.
Oh, is there?
Oh, there he is.
He's just being quiet in the background.
He is. You got a beer, Sam?
I've got a cup of tea and a mince pie at the minute. I've literally just made all the mince pies, and I'm tired, so I'm having a cup of tea and the spare mince pie.
Anyway, so here we are, Christmas special, and maybe we might have a couple of people drop in here, there, and everywhere. But I've got Sam and I've got Lewis with me. It seems like a massive, massive hurdle to try and get this podcast together, but we finally made it. So
you think, considering we can't go anywhere or do anything, it should be easy, but it just seems to be harder and harder.
Well, you guys say that, but I mean, I have to go to work, and then after that, I come home and I go to a virtual world, so I can go wherever I want.
So you're literally in the Oasis in Ready Player One now.
That's pretty much how I live my life these days. Yeah, I just don't ever leave the wonderful world that is virtual reality.
I knew there had to be a way to deal with the current situation.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's so good.
Yeah. Well, if I hadn't spent all my money on a gaming table and a new router and
a new house to put it in.
Yeah, I probably would have got one as well. But so yeah. So as Lewis has just said, he's now, and I think Sam's got one as well. Got the what's it called, Lewis?
The Oculus Quest 2.
That's it.
Yeah, it's a standalone. It's a standalone virtual reality headset. So it's basically like a games console, but it's virtual reality. So the problem with virtual reality is you had to have a high end gaming PC because virtual reality takes a lot of processing, and then you had to have spend like another $1,000 on like a headset. But whereas this is now it's about the same price as a Nintendo Switch. It's about $299, and you get kind of a full games console. It's Android based with an ARM chip, quite an advanced ARM chip, but still an ARM chip. So it's not going to be like the graphics are probably late PlayStation 2, I'd probably say. Level,
right?
Maybe some of the low end PS3 stuff. No, maybe not quite PS3. Yeah, but late PlayStation 2, that sort of level. But just it doesn't matter because the immersiveness is so good because you're just here and you just put your goggles on, you just look around, you're like in a completely different world. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, ever since you told me about it, and I actually thought the same thing. It still needed a high end PC to play it on, but. Yeah, so ever since I've been looking at Amazon, Facebook keeps inundating me with adverts of like, look, you want to buy this now.
It's rubbing it in your face.
Yeah, and then I look at the graphics, like those graphics looks really good. I don't know if you've seen the adverts, and can you tell me if those graphics are actually those standard ones or
those graphics are not real?
So
the latest advert that they've done is they did it live, so they had people actually dressed up, so it's all video footage, like film footage.
Right, yeah.
The newest advert, and it's a joke because it's about making it real. That's not the actual in-game graphics, but the games that you can play are all real. So I recognize a lot of the games that I play. I was like, oh, that's cool. Made it real. Yeah, no, the graphic, because I mean it's an ARM chip, and yeah, sure, your ARM chips have got well advanced these days, but it's still got to run off a battery with kind of low power supply and generally low processing. It's Sam, you'll probably know what makes ARM chips. Are they like 16-bit or something, or what are they? There's something.
Oh God, I have no idea.
Yeah, something that makes low power. I can't remember. Maybe they're 32-bit or something. They're not. They're really really odd bit, but they run horrendously fast, and that's how the phones work and stuff, isn't it? Because that's the same chip that's in your smartphone basically. And yeah,
it's why Apple bought ARM. They've replaced the Intel chips with ARM chips now.
Yeah.
All their devices.
Yeah.
Oh right, I see now. Yeah.
I guess the higher end chips are matching kind of. I mean, they're not your AMD Ryzen or your Intel I series, are they? But they are kind of, they're pretty high level now. So yeah, so it doesn't. The graphics are pretty impressive actually, considering it's running on what is essentially a smartphone.
Mm-hmm. So did you two ever get and play your round of golf?
We got one quick. No, it wasn't golf. It was I got whooped at Beat Saber, and to be honest,
Oh, right.
when you sort of, if you get knocked out, if you do worse than the other person, you sort of sit at the side watching the other person play. And I got a bit fed up with that. I was like, yeah, I've had enough now. I'm going to bed.
We couldn't play golf because I didn't
You couldn't
own
get
it.
that working. For
I
some
didn't have
reason.
I didn't have the game. I thought you only needed one copy of it, but you have to be in the same household to only have one copy of it. So I would have had to buy a copy, which I couldn't be asked to right then and there and download it. So we both had Beat Saber, so we both decided to play Beat Saber, which is a. Do you know Beat Saber?
Yeah. It's with the lightsabers and you're kind of doing it to music and.
That's it. Yeah, loud music, lightsabers in each hand, different colors, and then these boxes come towards you. And you've got to hit them in time to the music in the right direction, slashing them with your lightsabers, and it's pretty mental, pretty awesome. Sam was very good at the kind of normal mode, but as soon as I switched it up to expert, I think Sam beat me in the normal mode in terms of just getting the most number of points. But when he went to expert, he couldn't really get past the first sort of 10 seconds.
Yeah. It's one of those things you can see that you would get better at it if you just play it. It is one of those things where you just get it.
Very quickly as well. You get better at that very quickly. I got to expert level like within the first day of playing, I think. I can't do expert plus, but I haven't put the time in really. So.
Well, it's like Guitar Hero, isn't it? When that came out.
Guitar Hero.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
The more you've done it, the more you're better, and you learn the patterns, don't you? And
that's the thing. It's the patterns that I think that are the most important bit.
Yeah.
Because when you've got these blocks that are super close together, and you don't really until you hit the first one, you can't see what the second one is, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You kind of get flummoxed. Whereas if you kind of remember, right, that's the bit where I got stuck. So it was this, that, then the other. Then you'll get it eventually. But it is literally pattern recognition at that point.
And Beat Saber's fun, but it's not like the best game on the Quest. Like it's in terms of entertainment, it's a great kind of party trick one, and it's really fun to play. It's a really, really great game. There's something about the thing is that you can't explain to someone what it's like until they've played it, because like even if someone watched if you watch it on a flat screen, you just go, oh, that's just sort of Guitar Hero. But when you're kind of there with like surround sound, standing in this massive dark hall with these bits flying towards you, and like you're smashing with your lightsabers, and each time like you hit your lightsaber, you could like your controller like vibrates, but it feels like it's cutting through them as well. Yeah, so it feels like it's slashing through it. So it's so immersive, and you're just so like in there, and the song is just like blasting at you, and you're just completely like focused, smashing away. It's so good. It gets so good. But
is that
again,
is that your daily exercise now?
Yeah, I don't play it every day. No, the game I've been playing is a game called Population 1. I've been playing that a lot, which is basically a Fortnite clone.
Right.
It's a battle royale, but it's first person because obviously it's VR. And then you can fly and you can climb anything. So it's pretty cool. And there's like a map that's about a kilometre square, that sort of size. So there's loads of different areas. It's like Fortnite, and then the battle.
So how do you move in something like that?
So you still use a joystick, to run forward and backwards, but turning, aiming, reloading, everything has got to be done like with your hands. So there's no button to press to reload. You've got to physically put the new magazine in and recock it.
Nice.
And then if you want to turn, I think there is a turning joystick. Lots of people I think use it to like suddenly snap and turn to a different way, but I just turn around because it's I think that comes from when VR was you connected by a wire to your PC, so you couldn't keep spinning around and round. But now on the Quest 2, because you're battery powered and free, I just spend the whole time spinning around and round. It's epic though. It's so good. You're in teams of 3, and it's last team standing, and I've wasted far too many hours of my life playing it.
Have you got any wins then?
Oh, tons, hundreds.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There was a competition that was on the other day, and I finished top 4% in the world, which is quite cool.
Not bad. So that's kind of replaced your board gaming for lockdown and this pandemic era.
in terms of playing with people. Yeah, I mean, like it's hard to. I mean, so during lockdown, I think as I said before, we regularly on Skype play some roll and rights or draw and rights with the family. So we've been doing patchwork doodle, cartographers, and what's the other one? Patchwork doodle, cartographers. Oh, and Welcome to.
Yeah.
So we've been playing those a lot. Board game wise, what I played a bit of Memoir with the wife and kids. You know that one with you got to match the.
Oh yeah.
There's like a square of 25 cards, 5x5 grid, and you start off in the game. You got to try and every card has got a coloured background and a different sea creature on it, and you've got to try and match the sea creature or the background colour when you flip over a card. And when you first start, you don't really know what anything is, so you're just kind of guessing and hoping for the best. But by the end of the game, but you play multiple rounds, and and so you have to keep remembering where everything is because everything stays the same. So as the game goes on, you know where more and more of the grid are. It's quite cool actually. Good for kids. They got it. They can play it. They're pretty good actually.
Yeah, we played it quite a bit, and then I think it kind of died a death in our family because we did play it quite a lot, and then it was like, oh, this is boring now. It's just like the same thing. So.
Did you play the advanced mode? Where?
No, we haven't played the advanced mode. I think we killed it a bit too early on that.
Yeah.
And it's never
because there's an advanced mode where like each animal you draw has like a special power, isn't it? And then it like you might move cards around and stuff like that. And I'm not sure I like that because the beauty of the game is it's hard enough just remembering everything else.
Well, that's what I thought about it. I mean, I looked at those powers and I was like, either it's going to make it a bit too complicated or just more frustrating for other people. So yeah,
the game at the kind of it's kind of geniusly simple, isn't it? Like it's. Very clever in its simplicity.
Well, it's based on that old memory kind of game, isn't it? You flip two cards over and hope to match. If they don't match, you try and remember where they were before when you flip over on your next turn. So, it's a genius kind of take on that old simple game. So yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say also been playing your game that I borrowed off you many moons ago, which is My Little Scythe. The kids still like that. They're still not a big fan of fighting, and they like being being friends.
So not many pie fights going on.
There's not, but I always have to instigate one, and everyone says how mean I am. But it's like because you have to win one to get one of the stars. It's literally a thing I have to do to win.
I wonder if the expansion changes that up a bit, or makes
I don't know. Have you got the expansion?
No.
You don't really like it, do you?
It's not that I don't like it. It's just my kids didn't like it, and we barely got through a game before they were kind of bored.
Yeah.
So
well, I've got your copy. Do you want me to buy it off you?
You can do if you want. Yeah.
How much do you want for it?
Oh, we'll discuss that afterwards.
All right. Off air
discussion. So Lewis and Sam's been pretty busy, hard at work, ain't you, Sam? Really?
Yeah, it's been. I think out of apart from I think web developers are second in busyness only to doctors and nurses this year. It seems.
I bet.
It's just been insane. So
and teachers.
Yeah. Well, teachers are always busy, but they never stop letting you know about it. So.
Don't listen to them either. They all had like 3 months off where they had like 5 students for the whole school. So
here we go. Yeah.
It's me.
Whatever.
Don't listen to them moan. It's not like every business in the world needed a website going.
Yeah, that's what it felt like this year. That's for damn sure. In the last 4 weeks, I launched something just myself out of our whole team. There's 8 of us in the company. And just myself, I launched 5 websites in the last 4 weeks. It was just insane.
Yeah.
Blimey. Are these all like e-shops or?
3 of them were e-commerce. There's a 4th e-commerce one that was meant to go live before Christmas, but hasn't. Quite frankly, our client is friggin' bonkers. So yeah, it just takes forever to kind of get to the point. Well, she can't get to the point. As simple as that. So she's a very hot blue sky American client. Definitely won't be listening to the podcast, so I can whinge all I like. But
we have at least 5 American listeners.
yeah. I'm not going to mention the company just in case, but I think they move in different. This particular company moves in different circles than we do, thankfully. There's actually a tangential gaming thing to this, because one of the last video calls I had with her, sort of go over the website. She saw all my board games in the background, and she started asking me about that. And she goes, "Oh, I bought games for everyone for during lockdown because I thought they could all play with their families and stuff." Oh, that's nice. Because they said they got it, and they said they need something else to play it. And I was like, "Oh, really?" It turned out she'd basically bought maps for Ticket to Ride, but not Ticket to Ride the game.
No.
It's just like, oh no.
It was such a good game as well. That would have been really good.
Yeah. I said, look, you need one of 2. I think there might be 3. I can't remember now. It might be one of the other ones that's got it as well. But I said you either need the main Ticket to Ride or you need Ticket to Ride Europe, and then they'll be able to play with the maps that you bought them. So that's fine. I think there is another one, isn't there? I can't remember which one it is.
Isn't the UK? I'm sure there's a UK one comes with stuff, doesn't it?
No, that's just maps. Yeah. Is it Africa? Maybe Africa's got it.
Oh, maybe.
No, I think that's just a map as well. I think it is just Ticket to Ride, and Europe is the ones that you can use for the maps.
Ticket to Ride First Journey. I've got that.
First Journey.
Yeah. You don't get enough of the bits, though, do you?
That's the kids' version.
No, I don't think you know.
And you don't get the cards. You need the cards as well.
That's what got me with UK version, is that you practically get everything to play it, apart from the trains.
Right.
And if they just stuck trains into that package, then that would have been a standalone map. And I think maybe they might have sold more, maybe? I don't know. So, but yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, that was that. And then, actually the very first thing I did when lockdown was first announced, I had a phone call from one of the brewery that we work with, just as a kind of hobby piece, and they were desperate for an online store to launch when lockdown was announced. So I think I built an e-commerce store in 4 days for them.
Wow!
So that was my crowning achievement at early lockdown.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Well, I left it relatively default. I could have done it quicker if I'd left it as absolute default. But I wanted to kind of add a little bit of pride in it. I wanted to at least do something that looked a little bit more on brand for them and stuff. So it took a little bit longer. Yeah. But yeah, it was just because it was right at the start of lockdown. We weren't as off our, weren't as slammed as we were sort of halfway through. Mm-hmm. So I did have a little bit more time to be able to play with stuff like that. So yeah, but it was good. I think it's not like it's gonna like solve all their economic woes in one hit, but they in sort of launched at the end of April, so what's that, 7 months? I think it was about close to £30,000 went through it, so not too bad. Good. Yeah.
How much does a website cost? I know how much they cost to run. I know how much they cost to run, but like how much does it cost to like get someone to set it up for you like that? Like it must be thousands, is it?
It can be. I mean, I was being partially flippant by saying how long is a piece of string, but that's kind of true. It's with our sort of stuff, it tends to be more expensive because it's bespoke. So it's very specific design requirements that lead to very specific development requirements, and all of our cost is based on our time to do it. So we work out a day/hour cost to anything, and then that's how much it costs really. I think one of our more expensive, I don't think we've ever charged. There's one a company that manufacture and sell alloy wheels. We're doing their website in the new year, and that one I think is costing 25,000.
Wow!
So that's a big.
That's
project.
About one set of alloy wheels, isn't it?
Yeah. With this, they've got something like 7 or 8 brands or something, and they're each going to have separate kind of websites essentially, but on the same platform, and all needs interlinking and tied into their.
Do they just sell them, or do they manufacture them?
They're both. So they are the brand for one type of wheel, and then they have several sub brands that they, I presume they get them in from China or wherever they're made, and then they sell them on. They're sort of distributors, if you like, for that brand. But it seems like it's good business. But that's a heck of a big project So that was kind of like about as expensive as they ever get. And then sort of the bottom end of the track, I mean, it's probably the cheapest we've ever done a website in the last couple of years. Is probably about 2.5. But that's generally as not a mate's rate, but certainly like a local business kind of rate for a relatively straightforward business website and stuff.
Simply, I'm selling these bits. I just need a new shop, please.
Yeah, well, the shop ones you can pretty much guarantee are going to be minimum 6,000 to 8,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
There's that much more work that goes into those. So for just a flat website that just says, it's got an about page and what we do and a contact page, that kind of thing, you're talking, a couple of grand upwards, basically.
Yeah, well, it's a skill, isn't it? Like I couldn't do it. Like it's just, I think I've even tried once. I did not get very far.
That's it. I mean, there's obviously tools like Squarespace and things like that where you can kind of do your own, and like Devon Dice one where it's essentially you can get themes for WordPress and you can sort of build sites up, but it's the commitment of time to be able to do it.
Yeah,
I think that's where we can say we'll do it in 2 or 3 weeks, but it might take 2 or 3 years for some people to be able to get it how they want it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's kind of what it is.
It has been a saving grace having Sam on the team, because I just recently I was like, Sam, I've just paid for a new hosting on this new platform, but it's not working. So he's gone in 10 minutes later. Yeah, sorted it all out for you. Thanks, Sam. So, but yeah,
it's like anything, isn't it? It's like I think when I did my bathroom, like it took me freaking forever to do absolutely everything. Like months and months, and it was just a bathroom. It was just me doing it, but I was kind of doing it nearly full time, just because you don't know what you're doing. You have to kind of look everything up and research absolutely everything before you kind of do it. Mm-hmm. Whereas then I got Joel in just to finish off I went to finish off the tiling, and he did it in half the time that I was taking to do the tiling, to finish it off and things.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's like anything. I mean, I wouldn't know how to cut open someone's body and remove parts.
Well, I know how I would do it, but I don't think they'd be alive afterwards. It's the difference. I think there's a good kind of in our business. It's quite common for people to sort of say, we'll take a design that a designer's created, and then turn that into a website, right? So if they do something that takes 2 or 3 minutes in Photoshop, they'll be like, okay, just tweak that a little bit, and can you just do it like that? We'll look at it and be like, well, it's like 2 or 3 minutes for you, but it's like 2 or 3 hours for us minimum. So,
to convert that into something that's not going to crash, sit right, and all that other stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of people is like, if you say, I just need to change this word to that word or whatever, and you say to a client, okay, well that's your minimum charge is an hour's work to do something, even if it's menial. So you say, well that's 50 quid or whatever. They'll say, oh, it's outrageous, something that will take like a couple of minutes. And the best way I've heard it expressed is that I forget the actual quote for it now, but essentially, I've spent years getting the knowledge to know how to do that in minutes, and you owe me for the years, not for the minutes. It's the way to put it. There's a better way of putting it, but I can't remember exactly what it is. But that's what it is. It's like it's no good saying, well, like you as a doctor, for instance, it's like, well, yeah, but you know that now, so why is it going to cost me that much?
So you just to tell me that,
exactly. So it's like, well, yeah, because it took me years to get to this point where I can tell you that it will take 10 minutes. Or I can tell you that's absolutely fine just by glancing at it for 30 seconds. You didn't look very closely. I didn't need to look any more closely. I know exactly what. Yeah. Exactly. So yes. Anyway, onwards. What's next?
Well,
it's just a Christmas chat, isn't it?
It's just a Christmas chat of where it happens, where it goes. It goes. Yeah. I mean, like Lewis, I've kind of stumbled back into video game playing, and
I just want to say though quickly, I would like to maintain they are computer games, and we need to keep calling them computer games and try and preserve the English language.
Ooh.
Okay.
Why is that? I mean, I've always known it as video games.
They're computer games. You've always known them as video games.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. They've only been video games since the invasion of when we got really Americanized with, I'd say probably mid-90s, late 90s.
I'm pretty sure I've always called it video games.
Probably came when things moved to the console era, because you were then playing them on your TV before you needed a computer monitor. So it's computer games before that, and now it's video games because you're on TV. So it's essentially like video.
I get you.
I would guess. I'd guess that's the as a pure sort of devil's advocate kind of thing for the conversation. I'd say that's probably where the switch came.
Yeah, no, I get that makes sense. That's the same sort of time in my head that I've got it pictured when people start saying it incorrectly. They even say it on the BBC now. They say loads of Americanisms on the BBC. It's disgusting. The BBC used to be a bastion for English, but now they're slaves to pop culture. It's disgusting.
We barely try and watch BBC now. BBC News, because they just sit on the fence on everything. But anyway, that's a different story.
Really? See, I would say they're very, very left leaning.
Nah.
I would say the individual people are left leaning, but the overall programming is very on the fence / curtailed by the current government.
Okay.
I would say that especially things you watch things like the news and the breakfast and stuff. They will never. They've been better at it in the last year or so, but before that, they were certainly around sort of Brexit time and all that stuff. They were not particularly. They wouldn't grill an interviewee very well unless that person was not in the government. So I think there was a certain amount of pressure being applied by the BBC General or whatever it is, the the main dude who's a political appointee now as well. So I think there's a certain amount of that, but I think they have been a bit better recently. So they don't let whoever's been sent in by the government to face the music every morning about where the vaccines are and why haven't you done stuff.
Where's the PPE?
Yeah, why have you now cancelled Christmas when you could have done that 2 weeks ago and saved everyone a lot of time and money? So,
exactly. It's
they
funny,
are better.
Like, and I think they're very left leaning, but I don't mind that because I'm left leaning. That's would be my take on it. Like they are definitely very biased, lefty biased to pretty much everything they write. Like one of the big things that they always comment on is they always so they're obviously always very about climate change, and I'm a big supporter of that. But they keep claiming about they keep banging on about a vegan diet being like a really good thing for the environment and climate change. It's like, well, I'm not quite sure the evidence backs that up to the degree in which you're selling it. Like getting an electric car is about 3 times the amount of improvement that you get from just having a vegan-based diet. So it's just because all of you little lefty hippies at the BBC are all vegans now, and you want to go around spreading it to everyone else. That's all it is.
Wow.
But like I said, the general principle I'm fully supportive of. It's just but don't confuse vegan propaganda with climate change evidence. That's what I would like to say.
Well,
Cool.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Like I said, this could go anywhere. It's just gone somewhere. Anyway,
I think we're 2 steps away from talking about the Nazis, so let's just stop.
Once you go vegan, that's the only way you go from there, isn't it?
It's the modern equivalent of that law, isn't it? Where you the first person to mention Hitler is the loser in the argument. It's the same with veganism, I think.
You vegan?
Well, not going too far from Nazis.
So what was the games you've been playing, Joel?
I've been shooting a lot of Russians quite lately, and French, and anyone else around the world. No, I've been playing, and I kind of hate myself that I've got into it, but I'm slightly addicted to playing the new Warzone Call of Duty game, which came out free. I'm playing on my PS4. Well, I'm playing it on Isaac's PS4. And I kind of hate myself for getting into it because it's kind of taken over my lockdown. It's taken over quite a lot. And it's like the most brokenest game out there for like online multiplayer. There's so many hackers. It's so glitchy, and I still want to play it. I just can't. It's just, I don't know. I think it's the skill level needed to it, because it is one of those. Like I play Fortnite as well, because like the boy and I, we like playing it. We play it for fun. We have a good time, and I seem to get wins quite easily on it. On this, it is like you are in it, like one false move and you're dead, and then you start another game, but it's that whole thing. You've got to think 10 steps ahead of yourself and plan it and do it. And I mean, there is far more superior players on it than me, mainly PC players. I swear
that's the
they've
thing.
got
I
an
never
advantage.
understand how you can put PC and console players on the same game, because
Well,
I mean,
even
the control you get with a mouse is 10 times that you get with a controller. Like,
yeah, I mean, you can do mouse and keyboard on the PlayStation. There's all that slots, and you can
but
do
who
it.
does that?
Well, I mean, I did speak to a PlayStation player, and he says actually I still enjoy playing with a joypad, but he says he's always played with joypad or control pad, but like you watch all the like main streamers and YouTubers, they all use PC and they all use mouse and keyboard, and their reactions are super fast. Plus, they've got like so many different options to them available. Like field of view is basically they can pan out more on their vision on the screen, so they get more vision on sides and above than us console players get. So it's like, how the hell did he see me? I'm right to his left, kind of thing. If you know what I mean. I'm right on his left-hand side, sneaking up on it, but he still seemed to spin and turn on me. That's because he's got a better field of vision to me. So
or he's got the hack on that's got you.
Or he's got a hack on, which then as soon as they press a button, they lock onto your head and kill you instantly. Which I have not come across many. There has been a few times I've come across, but I mean, I think maybe it's more with PC players, they come across it quite a bit. And Activision still does nothing about banning them.
I thought there was a hack for that where it you could just have everyone on your screen had a big red box around them.
Yeah.
No matter where they
wall hacks.
That was it.
Yeah. Like you can. There's so many. There's even hacks. I'm still finding out about where, like, they just press one button, it automatically locks onto their head and fires, so it's an instant kill. Yeah. Well, you got aimbot, but sometimes you still need to press the trigger button to fire. But there's even hacks that do everything up to firing
for you.
So, and there's actually I thought it was a hack, but it's actually a glitch where now people are becoming invisible, so you can't even see them. And it is a glitch, and it's like, come on, Activision, sort this out. This is game breaking. There's a glitch at a minute that I'm experiencing quite a lot. So you can call in a loadout, which is basically your own setup. If you get enough money together, or you wait long enough in the game, you can call it in and pick up your own loadout. So it's all customized to you, how you like to play. And you go into it, and then you come out of it after selecting your weapons, and you're just stuck on the loadout, looking at it without weapons. You can't move until someone shoots you. I mean, I've had it done about 3 times now, and it's the most frustrating thing ever. My mate had it done, and there's this area, it's called the Stadium in Verdansk, and we dropped the loadout in there. He got stuck, so I was then trying all kinds of tricks to try and release him from it. I was even driving a car into him.
I've seen people online doing similar things like that, and the guy just completely stuck.
Yeah, until he started getting shot at by someone else, who then, once you get downed, you get released. But that's no good, because you're downed, you can't do anything. So,
don't you drop back in, though, in Warzone?
You get a chance. So that's a great thing with Warzone, is you get this second chance. So the first time you die, you can go to the Gulag, and then it's a 1 versus 1 shootout, and you get like both get the same weapon, and it's basically who can kill each other first or control the center. So you get a chance to come back in. If you're in the team, you can be brought back in if people have enough money at buy stations. So, but yeah, I mean, it's like, it's one of those, and if you get downed, you can also be revived by your teammates. But it's one of those fun. I've been playing with a guy at work quite a bit, and one of the first guys I befriended on Warzone, he's a pain in the ass. But it's like one of those things, it's like nostalgia. I can't defriend him because he's like my first one. And he's got this tendency, as soon as I'm downed, he's like running up to me to, I'm going to save you, I'll get you back up. I was like, there's one point, we're in this building, we're getting down to the last circle, there's like 2 teams left, I've got downed, and I'm shouting, leave me alone, they're coming through the window. And I said it 3 times. He still ran up, started reviving me, which left the other guy trying to take out this team that's invading our building. And they all get killed, and the other team won. I was like, what did you not understand about leave me alone, they're coming through the window? Everyone else is cracking themselves in the lobby, but and he's like, oh, sorry, I just wanted to get you out. No! I was like, So it's just one of those things. It's I don't know why I enjoy playing it, but I do. It's taken me right back to when I used to play Call of Duty, like PlayStation 2 era kind of thing, and loved every minute. No, not PlayStation 2. Xbox 360. So
yeah, and I think COD got really good with kind of Modern Warfare, didn't it? And that was PS3, wasn't it? Early days of PS3.
Yeah. I used to love playing that, and also Rainbow Six Vegas 2.
Oh yeah.
I used to put hours into playing that, and that was just kind of fun because if you got like big enough lobby together, you just have each other on each other's on just make a game up. And because you're in video chat, you just like banter with each other all the time. It's just such fond memories of playing that. And I think it's kind of a shame because it is now I'm on PlayStation 4. I've not got links to my old counterparts on the Xbox. So I might have to get myself a new Xbox when they come down in price a little bit, or back in stock.
Back in stock. I have little interest in going backwards now to the flat screen. I just don't think I can enjoy anything as much. I've got a Raspberry Pi that I have got Retro Arch on, or Retro Pi as the version is on. So I've got loads of emulators, and I can play just about any game from the beginning of time to up to N64 kind of level, maybe PSP. And I run them all fine, and I play all the old school games, and I download them and whatever from legitimate sites, I imagine. And I play the flat screen games, and they're fine. But I just when you taste something in virtual reality, it's just so good. Why would I ever want to go back to that? So my next step, I think, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build myself a gaming PC, high-end gaming PC, and the next thing I want to play is Star Wars Squadrons, isn't it? That's the big one at the moment. But you can play that in VR, and I want to play that. That's my next edition, and I want to play Half-Life Alyx and stuff like that, because Half-Life was the game that got me into gaming right at the beginning. Well, that's not quite true. It was Dune 2, wasn't it? But then my first-person shooter was Half-Life, the original Half-Life.
Right.
That and the tournament. And I want to kind of get a PC and do some PC gaming, because I used to PC game a lot, but I mean when I was 10.
Yeah, that's my other choice as well. I mean, my MacBook Pro is dying. I've abused it so much that it's and that's kind of the reason why I've not been pushing to do podcasts, because I'm scared of whether it can handle it now. Yeah. I mean, you've seen in the past that we've tried to do stuff and it's just not capable.
And your computer just couldn't handle it, could it?
No, and I even looked at it. The battery's dead. It's got to be plugged in most of the time now. And I even looked at, can I change the battery myself? Oh no, there was a step-by-step instruction on how you can do it on my MacBook, and I got to step 69 and they still haven't removed the battery. They were still removing bits and taking bits out and putting adhesive remover around parts.
These days with laptops, there's just everything's so small and so integrated. It's so hard to replace an individual part.
So yeah, whether I need to make another claim on the insurance and with the money buy a high-end PC.
But how is your battery dead? Because you only replaced that recently.
I've had mine for a while. Most podcasts and that have been recorded on this.
Yeah.
All my video editing's done on this. I I used to do a bit of gaming on it until it's it jumps.
I don't even bother game on Mac. I did try on my last MacBook Pro, but it's just no point. It's terrible.
Well, the other thing that frustrates me, and Sam that made me realise, is that Apple does great jobs of making old firmware and hardware defunct on their stuff. So now you can't play applications that are 32-bit. It's got to be 64-bit. So I've got loads of applications that I used to use for podcasting, especially a voice equalizer, that I can't use now because Apple said, we're not going to do about 32-bit. Everything else, goodbye, kind of thing. And it's just great, thanks. And there's lots of video games I can't play on Steam that I would like to play, like Gloomhaven. I'd love to be able to play that on Steam, but it's only for PC at the minute. So
it would work. It would work well on Steam. It would work well online. Gloomhaven actually. A lot of stuff is automated for you.
Yeah. So once I get a new house, I might just have to look at a
that's
PC rig for editing and things like that.
That's it. That's my plan. Although our internet's going to be terrible in the new house.
Where are you moving to?
To Wiltshire.
Oh, you're actually going up country, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're leaving me again.
No, I know. It was, but my wife lived up there before near her family, and she moved down to Devon here for me. So I finally have to.
You got to give it up.
Yeah, I've got to concede. I always said I'd.
That prenuptial agreement.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, 7 years ago, whatever it was.
I suppose you'll be back down, won't you? Or you got nothing here. Got nothing here.
No, that's the thing as well. I couldn't even say to her oh well, we've got all my family here, but we haven't. I've got some friends around, but partly going to New Zealand, you lose contact with people. Recently, and then also because of lockdown, you haven't really seen people, and a lot of friends that I know, because doctors always move around for their jobs and things, so a lot of friends have kind of moved away and things. Obviously, you guys are going to miss you guys, but maybe I'll come back for some flying visits to play
game days.
We'll have a board game weekend or something. Plus, our new house will be quite large. Maybe we'll get you guys to come up on tour.
I'll do that.
Devon Dice on tour. We'll have a weekend of it. I'll get the wife and kids to go somewhere else, and we'll have a whole weekend up in Wiltshire, my house in the woods.
Oh, now you've ruined it, because that was that sounds good. And now you said, oh, now we're going into the woods. Like, oh, no. It's like House on Haunted Hill style.
That's
now.
it, mate. That's exactly what it would be. That's exactly what it would be.
Don't plug us into the Matrix, and we'll never leave.
That's it. Don't play any VR horror when you're in that house. I'll tell you that for free. There ain't many houses near it. No one can hear you scream.
Now you put a real dampener on the episode. Anyway, moving on. The upside of it is that me and Mike will be able to win more games.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
If we ever get back to gaming.
Hopefully it'll just be 50-50 with you two just playing each other continually.
No. And Nigel. Nigel might win now.
Oh, yeah. Nigel Smudge. I think Smudge will dominate, isn't it? When I'm not there, doesn't Smudge always win?
Yeah, she does. Yeah. It's the green effect. She plays green as well when you're not here, and it just seems to win.
Yeah, everyone loves a bit of green.
So say that in some circles.
Yeah.
So I've not just been playing Warzone. I have been playing some board games because luckily I am married to a wife that does like to play board games with me. That is occasionally. So I kind of like to say lowly because I know it upsets Sam. But we have been, and I'm so surprised by this because I don't think she'll be up for it, but we've been playing the new Pandemic Season 0, and we are further than we've got to when we were playing, Lewis. We've now made it to...
Oh, Season 0, is that the original one?
No, that's the new one out this year. So it's a prologue to the first season. So...
Oh, I did not even know that came out. I'm so uninterested in those legacy Pandemic games.
So we got to. We completed July yesterday, and it's interesting. I feel it's a little bit easy with 2-player. It's not much happen. Like nothing drastic has happened to us. Like, oh, for crying out loud, this is just ridiculous. I mean, I think we won the first 4 months straight.
Pandemic's always been easier with lower player counts, though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's because the cards don't get so spread out, and you get to have more goes frequently.
I think that is the case. We were discussing that because, like, the other Lewis and our friends, they've been playing 3-player in Pandemic Legacies, and they seem to be getting trounced all over by it. But we'll see. So I think we're doing quite well with this, and I think actually, instead of thought about playing our copy that I've still got sat on the shelf. I might buy a brand new copy, and we'll start from the
I'm happy
beginning
for you to do that if you want. I've got no.
What I might do with that copy is I might play it like hand of 4 and just continue it that way. See how it goes. But so yeah, quite impressed. I do like this season. It's a new take. He's changed up the mechanics quite a bit. That makes it a little bit more complex and makes it feel like it's from the era that it's set in, 1962. So it's kind of like espionage and spying and things like that going on, and trying to stop agents from overwhelming cities. And
fine. This is not about disease, it's about spying.
It is about a disease. I mean, it's basically the prologue to the first season, really. And you're trying to... the Russians, and this is no spoilers, this is right from the beginning, you're trying to stop the Soviets from building the Medusa virus. And
which one is that? Black? Black always looked like a Medusa.
I don't know. Because there is no cubes on the board. You got these little miniature agents. So you got like 30 of them or something like that. And they just go into all cities. So when you turn over an infection card, you put agents in the city. And this time, if there's more than if there's 3 agents in the city and you have to put a 4th, you actually put out this instant token.
Oh, yeah.
And you then draw a card off the bottom of the infection deck. And these cards now have... and this is from the first game. I'm not spoiling anything. So this is all first game prologue stuff going on. There's instant descriptions. So you pull off the bottom board and you don't do anything with like putting agents or anything. You read what it says at the bottom of the card. And it would basically say if there is any agents in North America, put more agents in that city. Something like that.
Okay.
And that's what happens with the incident tokens. So that's quite a nice little touch to it. You have to build teams this time. So you've got these little truck plastic things that move around cities, doing tasks for you. So you got your own pawn as well, which you have to go around getting rid of agents. But you got to build teams. You have to have like cards, 5 cards of the same affiliation. Discard them, build a team, and they only activate in the right areas. So there's allies, Soviets, and neutral cities, and you have to have the right team in the right city to do its thing. And as you go through the game, these teams actually do a lot more for you, and have more tasks that you can't do. And it's like this new concept because you've got to build up cards to have enough to get these teams out to do stuff. And it just adds a whole different layer to Pandemic. And we're really enjoying it because of that aspect. It makes you think. And we actually have lost 2 games completely so far because either I think we've run out of agents and we run out of instant tokens. So instant tokens are basically the what is it?
Contagion.
Overrun. Outbreak. That's it. So you only got 7 of them. So if you have 7 incidents happens, then the game is over. So yeah. Well,
I kind of have just kind of one comment to make on that, and that is, I just thought of a really good example, and it's completely gone from my head. Oh, I might as well completely blank. I had a really good example. No, move on. I'll come back to it. I literally, that's so bad. My memory's completely gone. I literally just had a thought about what I was going to say at the end when you finished saying, and then it's completely gone. What was it? Oh, I can't remember. Carry on.
And we've been playing quite a bit. Well, we've actually been playing quite a bit online, like you have with old Lewis and Sarah and Nick. We've actually finished Forgotten Waters, and that basically was the best game that could come out in a lockdown situation in this pandemic era, because you can play online. They've set up the apps and the remote playability, and it was a great experience. I do have to admit, if there was no pandemic going on and we were not in this kind of lockdown situation, I don't think I would have played many more games after maybe the first two, because they took so long to play that I just kind of felt like I want to play other things rather than spend a whole day playing this. So it's the greatest thing that could have come out in this time, and it came out at the right time.
Yeah.
And as it still goes on, it's still going to be valuable to people that can set up and play this online. I do think it works well when you've got a lot of people for you to work to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had good fun with it, but like I said, to me, it didn't have enough board game to be a good board game, and didn't have enough RPG to be a good RPG. It's kind of like stuck in the middle there. I think if I was going to go for a game like that, I'd go for any of the either Above and Below or the or Near and Far. I think any of the Red Raven, either of those Red Raven titles.
Yeah, I mean,
I think so.
I did admit when we got to the 5th game, I said, I'm quite glad we're here. Once we're done, even if we fail this, I don't know if I can play any more of it. And everyone was in agreement, because I have to admit, the 5 stories are all individual stories, and you start from the beginning from each one. But there's quite a lot of similarities between it, and it's kind of the same process.
Well, it's the same process between every go as well. Like every go felt the same.
You kind of figure out what's happening.
What you need, what's important, what to go for. And even though you don't know what the actions are going to be, they always basically tell you what they're going to be, don't they? There's just a slightly different story attached to whatever action.
There's just some.
This action has a slight story attached to it, and it gives you supplies. This story has a slightly different story, and it gives you supplies.
I don't think it gives you enough information when you're dealing with kind of situations. So, like, we've been in kind of quite a bit of situation where someone's got to answer a kind of pathway or the crossroads kind of thing, and it says, do you want to do this or do you want to do this? Turn to page so and so, or turn to page so and so. And it's like, oh, well, what do I want to do? It's kind of give you a highlight, but you kind of look at it and say, well, if I went this way, it could require me to have a good stat in this of this. But if I went the other way, it could require me to have a good stat that someone else has got. So what do I do? And then it's kind of potluck. You draw one up, and it's just like, oh, you need to have like a fighting competition. So you need good brawn. It's like, well, I'm buggered there. I ain't got any good. I ain't done anything on my stats for brawn, but Lewis has got good brawn, so he would have done well with that. If they gave more information before making your choice, like, I don't know, just even put the symbol next to it.
Involved,
you might have said, oh, I'm going to go that way because I'm good at bantering, I'm good at talking.
I think it was a combination between like too obvious and too opaque at the same time, because like 9 times or like 8 times out of 10, like going down this one, you'd need navigation, and then randomly for no reason at all, it would suddenly be, oh no, you need brawn. And it's like, what? Why do I suddenly need brawn? Like, what was ridiculous thing? Like, it doesn't even make any sense now.
So I think it's a great game for this era. And if you're a role playing person, you might find it good, but really basic role playing. If you're a board gamer, you might find it's good if you play it in the sections. Like, because there's always, it comes to end of part 1. Do you want to continue, or do you want to like break and come back later? So that was a point where we usually said, oh, we're going to have something to eat now, and then we'll come back at like 7:30 or something and continue it. But you could come back on another night and continue the story on. But you might find it's not enough board game for you, or there's not enough in it, because the choices are basic, and there's
very little in there in terms of board gaming.
It is a choose your own adventure in a way.
That's essentially what it is, but just there's so many better versions of it.
And I think if you're playing with lots of people, like if you're playing with 6, 7 people, the person that gets the ship scribe is going to be bored, because they don't have much to do but write down stuff, and that could be really few and far between. So whoever gets stuck with that either needs to be I used to do the ship scribe quite a bit, because I'd be controlling the remote app and organising the main app to read stuff out. So I had a lot to do myself because that's how we planned it. So everyone else had like the other chores to do of keeping track of supplies and the cannons and things like that. So yeah.
And speaking
Great
of
game.
the effects of lockdown on games and games that are good in lockdown and things, the first time ever, the biggest effect that lockdown's had on my game collection is the first time ever I now have a Shelf of Shame. Still sealed. I've still got games still sealed.
How many you got on that Shelf of Shame? Shelf of Shame.
Shelf of Shame.
Shelf of Shame.
There's at least what? So let me see if I can name them. So Brass is on there.
Right.
Dinosaur Island is on there. Although technically I've played it.
Sam's sighing in the background.
Not a fan of Brass.
No, I
he
love
loves
it. You
Brass.
should get it played instantly.
Yeah, Brass Birmingham is what I got.
Oh, maybe not. Sorry, that's right. Don't worry about that. Then.
Well, you prefer
You
Lancashire?
don't like Birmingham, do you?
Yeah, I prefer Lancashire personally.
Oh.
Yeah, we've discussed this on the podcast.
We haven't
before.
in detail.
Probably,
I
yeah.
remember. Yeah, so I bought it back then when we had that discussion. Shortly after
Right,
that. I got it. I think that's why we had.
Because I own Lancashire, he went with Birmingham.
Right at the beginning. It was right at the beginning of lockdown. So I've not been able to play that. Dinosaur Island. I've got that. Well, I have played that technically and the expansion. And then what has come in the post? There is It's a Wonderful World.
Yeah. Technically, you played that as well, haven't you?
No, I don't think I have played that.
You played mine, haven't you?
No, I don't think I have.
I played your copy.
Because I think the time that we were going to play, I played with the other guys.
You played the prototype, Sam. That I
did.
got,
That's right.
given.
Yeah, it's pre Quickstar. Yeah.
Also got Rococo on there, the new version, the deluxe version.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to see what else I've got. Give me a second. All of the new Chronicles of Crime. So there's 1400, 1900, and 2400.
And you've got my Chronicles of Crime.
And I've got yours as well. Still to finish and play. But I'm trying to think what else is sealed. Yeah, so that's probably it now. Yeah, there's Birmingham Brass. Yeah. Those are but they're still sealed. Like that just never happens with my games.
No.
Yeah.
How big's your collection?
I did have my. Oh, go on.
I was about to say, how big is your Shelf of Shame, Sam?
Oh God, yeah, I was going to say mine's grown as well, obviously this year because I've basically collected and not played anything. Mm-hmm. But the two I'm most excited about, and I'm going to try and play as soon as possible. I've got Lost Ruins of Arnak and Dune Imperium now. So
nice.
Dune Imperium, is that the new version of the old game?
No, I've got that as well. That's also on the Shelf of Shame.
Dune Imperium's kind of Clank, but
well, it's not Clank. It's
worker
from the same designer
placement
as
deck
Clank.
builder. Yeah. I don't know. It's got the same. It looks like it's got the same feel of Clank in many ways.
Not only as far as the deck building element of it, I guess, but it's the worker placement element is also kind of worker placement as well. It's not really a full blown worker placement. It's kind of there's a little bit of area majority and there's a little bit of agent placement, if you like. It's not really worker placement, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. The reviews of it have all been really good so far, so I'm looking forward to giving it a crack.
I was going to ask what you thought of it, but then I suddenly realised we're talking about your Shelf of Shame, so there's no point.
Yeah, exactly. I've also got Tokyo Tsukiji Fish Market, which is a run of like weird Scandinavian kind of hyper design sort of style games, but it's quite a heavy economic game. But it's got these awesome little wooden fish meeples, so it's just like, well, that's worth the money already. So I've got that, and it's during lockdown. I'll go through my entire list of lockdown stuff. I've got Tiny Epic Dinosaurs. It's not played that. I have got I've got the Dynogenics Controlled Chaos expansion. Not played that. I've got the Alien RPG. Not played that. I've got where is it? London 2nd edition. Not played that. I've got Flotilla. Not played that. I've got Tobago Volcano expansion. Not played that yet. Got something else. What's the other one? There's 2 or 3 others. I got Las Vegas finally, a copy of Las Vegas. Not played that. Yeah, quite a lot of things I've not played yet. I've also still got the one that I bought from you years ago, Joel. Dojo Kun. Still got that. Still on my shelf for shame.
Okay.
That's about 3 years old.
Yeah, that's probably worth something now because that's out of print.
Is it? And it's the first edition as well.
Yeah, but then I think like out of print things like that. I think the market's gone on it because people are now kind of wary of scalpers and things like that, and it's just all this big thing now, isn't it?
And there's loads of reprints, isn't there? Like I've got a first edition version of Project Elite, and then that's now been redone with much better minis by.
That's the danger, isn't it? It's the same as like the people that had the first versions of Dune, the board game, like the old classic ones that were like 300 quid a go if you wanted to get a copy. As soon as they announced the new version of it, that market tanked. You couldn't sell it anymore.
No, exactly. So I guess if like you feel like a serious collector, then it means something to you. But other than that, like it's like, well, I'll have the better version of the same game, thanks. Right?
I mean,
and I'm a collector in terms of wanting the game to play the game, but you know, if there's a better version or a nicer version, I'll have that one, thanks. Like I don't really care about it's old, it must be good. I'm not an antiques collector, I'm a board game collector, thanks.
I mean, I've been caught out a couple of times with that. Fiorio Dracula second edition. Yeah. I think I paid 80 quid for that, and then
reprinted.
Not that long after they announced the reprint.
Yeah.
I was gutted. I think there's another time I've been caught out. Once more, and I think that's it. I said I'm done. I'm not buying my Grail games anymore. Unless.
Well, I think that's why. Like, I mean, although like it's nice to hunt a game down. Like, I won't pay ridiculous amounts of money for a second-hand game. Like, no. Like, if it's kind of sealed in box, I'll play similar to what the original retail price was. Maybe a touch more if it's completely out of print and I'm desperate for it. But it have to be sealed and completely in the box for that. If it's second-hand, I'm not going to pay that much. I expect a big discount. I mean, I know you guys have always not done that, but I don't know. I'm just not really interested.
I mean, there's one Grail game I would love to get hold of, and that's Russian Railways, and that's going for about £50 a pot. But I just like not paying that because it's not. I know guaranteed if I buy it, it's going to be there's going to be a Kickstarter, and you're going to be able to get everything for it. I think some people have been hit by the Rococo because that's been out of print for ages, and just before that it was announced it was coming out again, people were paying over the odds for just having the expansion. I mean, I've seen like the expansion, the jewelry box expansion was going for something ridiculous of 40, 50 quid.
Bloody hell. And now the deluxe version has got everything.
Yeah.
Mind you, that's not cheap though. That was an expensive game.
Yeah.
You can't, that sort of thing, you can't really say it's anyone's fault other than the person who's paying over the odds for it. I mean, it's fair enough you're upset at it, but it's if you've there's always the chance that it will get reprinted, isn't there?
If you didn't want to pay that, you shouldn't have paid that.
Yeah, exactly. You got to stay like content with what you paid for it at the time you paid for it. It's like the most I've paid for like a record. I remember I've probably talked about it on the podcast before. One of my favourite artists is called Lemon Jelly, and I bought years ago when I first heard about this thing where they'd released this sort of essentially a single called Soft Rock, and it was on a blue wax vinyl in a denim sleeve where they basically just got a bunch of, I think, got like 200 pairs of denim jeans and then chopped them all up and sewed them together into record sleeves, and then popped like a flavoured condom in the back pocket or the front pocket, whichever one you got. They were on eBay, like not very many, like only ever like one or two on eBay at the time, and I went to 250 quid on one once. And still got outbid, and I was just like, oh no. And bear in mind, I was on like 10 grand a year or something at this point. It was probably the silliest thing I ever spent money on. But I eventually got one for 150, and I was like, oh, awesome! I saved £100 in my mind. Whereas now you could probably buy a copy for about 50 quid. So, it's, as a collector, you've got to take that chance, haven't you? And you've got to also be happy in the fact that you'd only spend that money on it if you really wanted that thing.
Yeah.
And you just got to make sure you're happy with what you're spending before you spend it. Otherwise, you're going to get that kind of butthurt feel.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, again, my shelf of shame has increased quite a lot, actually. Even in the last few months. I think I mistakenly walked into the works and walked out with 2 games.
No one mistakenly walks into the works. There's only one reason we go in there, and that's to see if you can scalp some cheap board games.
Yeah. Well, every time I've been in there, it's always been an utter crap. I've never found it. I was once chasing a Grail game that was available in the works, but I missed it, and then I nearly got it off a friend of mine, and we'd agreed a price and a sale, and then I approached him to give him the money, and he said he'd give it to someone else.
Oh.
That was just one of my Grail games, so that's fine. That's cool. Just been hunting that one for literally at least 6 years. 6 years. Right.
Remember they once had Shogun, I think, and I didn't buy it at the time, and instantly regretted it after I then played Shogun about a year later. I was like,
wow.
Yeah, would have bought that if I'd realised I'd liked it that much.
Yeah.
No, I walked out with Sabotage, and
Is Sabotage the dwarves in a mine?
No, actually, it might be something else now.
Oh.
Trying to think. It's like kind of pirate ships. You're building a pirate ship and trying to blow each other up side by side. So yeah, and then I was Castles of Caladel.
Oh, that's supposed to be quite good.
Oh yeah,
they're both pretty good game. Yeah. And then what else have I had in? Oh, so I've just done the bloody maths trade for this month, and kind of slightly regretting that I actually put games on my want list and not just money, because I could really do with selling stuff instead of buying stuff. So I've got Fort on its way.
Oh, nice! I nearly put that on my wants.
I
think I did actually.
Did you do this month's?
I did. I got rid of Way of the Panda, and I got the Joker tiles for Azul. Which actually I was happy with, because it cleared a huge space on my shelves for something that I would have had to have paid 20 quid for, and I paid 20 quid for Way of the Panda. So in my mind, again, I did quite well there.
So yeah. What else did I get through? What else I got through? Sugar, right in my hand. Iberian Rails.
Oh yeah.
That's still in the shrink wrap. I was quite surprised with that.
Oh.
And Cargo Noir, which is a little bit of a Grail game that I've always ever since I played it. I was like, I really like this. Really, it's like the most
bidding style, not bidding like a. Yeah, it's like a bidding style thing.
Yeah, it's a bidding game. Yeah, trying to outbid each. It's like the most dickish game you could play with your family. Kind of thing. Cause,
we played it once. Murray got a copy, and we played it, and we were like, probably, it's fun, but given the people we were playing with, we were like, let's not play that again for a while. Full of the dick moves kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was, but it was good. It was. I think we had a night of it that night, because it was like Cargo Noir, and then we were playing things like Modern Art and things like that. So it was all very similar kind of games.
Yeah, I like Modern Art. I've got a really old first edition copy of that, I think.
Now that's probably a collector's item.
Oh, is it?
Well, I don't know, but I'm just thinking of the artwork that will be in it.
Yeah. Well, it's like the big one, the big kind of looks like it comes from the 1980s. I picked up I bought that secondhand for £5, I think, at Baycon.
Yeah, I've also quite a few Kickstarters coming through. Now I think I'm done with Kickstarter. I have to admit.
No, really?
I really cannot be asked with it anymore. I have really lost enthusiasm. I've backed my last one, and I'm kind of saying that if it's an expansion to a game I've got and I really like, I might still do it. But everything that seems to be coming through the door, by the time it gets to your door, it's old news, no one cares, and most likely you don't care anymore. And that's how I'm kind of viewing it. I mean, there's the new ISS Vanguard on there from Mythic Games, which everyone's going crazy over. And I'm just like, it's just another bloated co-op game with miniatures that don't need to have miniatures.
Yeah,
It's
that's
why.
Kickstarter.
And then as soon as it comes through, people are going to be slamming it onto the Facebook
eBay.
page and trying to get double the money for it. Then being accused of being scalpers and possibly still selling it for the price they want. So yeah, I'm kind of like, I have no urge to back anything now. I've looked at games and I think, oh, that's quite interesting. Nah, I can't be arsed with it. It's just not doing it for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully I'm done and I can now get all my stuff I'm outstanding through, and maybe that's it from then on.
I haven't even looked for a month, let alone ordered anything.
No, I feel like I've not really. I've only looked because I've been getting like notifications through, and I'm just like checking on its progress. Have you got your Megan table through yet?
I've lost a lot of it. I haven't got my table yet. Have you got your table?
No. Did you upgrade it?
No, I didn't upgrade it.
Ah, old Lewis has got his table through today.
Oh, you got it through today? I haven't heard anything about my table yet.
Ah, so you didn't upgrade it. So you should. They promising to have it for you before Christmas. So.
Do they? I thought they said. I thought they just sent an email saying they're stopping now, and if you haven't heard anything, things will be after Christmas.
All right.
And then
so maybe it's
New Year or something.
I have to check because I don't know if he got an actual email saying it's coming, or because surely they must have to contact you, say this is coming.
They must
make
do.
Sure
Yeah, because they want someone at the house, don't they?
Not going to leave it on the porch.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, because they now got you can now go back on the pledge manager and order more extras.
More extras, yeah, I'm alright.
And I'm just like, stay away, don't do it.
Yeah. Well, I think I've got everything I need now, like, because I got the extension table because we need a sideboard anyway, and then if it adds to our table for a dining table, thank you very much. And then I got the bench, but probably didn't need to get a bench, but I got it just because I could, because you can store the leaves in it, and I thought I could store the components in it as well. It's just an easy way of keeping everything all together.
So yeah, my last Kickstarter backed was the expansion for Pursuit of Happiness. It was like big
what
box.
a terrible game.
It's not a terrible game. It's a great game. When have you played it?
I played it with you multiple times.
You haven't played it multiple times.
I have.
It hasn't come out multiple times.
Yes. I played it at your house once, and I played it in the pub once.
I'm doubting your recall on that.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up on see if I was recording back then. Although I think it's pre me getting this, but I'll find out.
Anyway, so that was my last one I backed, and I think this is their last one they're doing on it. They haven't really highlighted it, but it kind of feels like it's their last expansion they're doing for it. I don't know what more they could add to it. I mean, it's a massive game. It's got tons and tons of stuff going on, and it now comes with a big box, so to fit it all in. But we'll see. You never know. If they can still milk the cow, they will do, won't they?
Yeah, exactly. That was I was a similar comment that I was going to make about your latest pandemic acquisition. It's like a lot of things, like the first series or the first film, brilliant. After that, terrible. That's what I compare Pandemic to. I'd compare all the Pandemic series to The Lion King.
Right.
First one, absolutely brilliant. What an amazing classic film. After that, it's just milking it. It's milking something.
Are you talking just about the games or like the seasons they've done?
I'm talking about all the Pandemics. So literally the very first game, brilliant. After that, dog shit. It's just the same game. If you played the first game enough, then there was nothing that the other ones had. Not that like that you wouldn't just play something else with different mechanics, like a different co-op puzzler.
All right.
That's it. Statement made. I gotta go. No. But I do have to go soon.
But yeah, I've got quite a few others coming through. I don't actually know what's coming through now, but I've got a massive pile of shame that I'm gonna have to try and start working through, or just getting rid of, because it's out of control. So
well, when I move at Wiltshire Way, we will be very near my nephew and niece, who are 14 and 11, and they both like games and have played games with me for years. So I might end up setting up like a weekly club or something. And my brother-in-law runs a community centre, so I'm sure it'll give me a room so I could try and set up a board game club there, and I'd have at least those two to play with, and then if anyone else comes along, and hopefully I can get some games playing.
Nice.
Yeah, sounds good.
That's it. When the vaccine saves us all.
I'm pretty sure there'd be a club as well up there somewhere.
I'm sure there will be.
In another dark,
when the vaccine
dingy
comes and
hut.
saves us all and stops us all dying at the age of 82.
Whereabouts in Wiltshire are you heading? I don't want a specific address, you know.
Near Swindon.
Near Swindon.
Between Swindon and Oxford.
Oh, okay. I used to know that road. Yeah, I used to have to drive to Oxford quite a bit.
Oh yeah. It's along there.
Ah.
But you'll be close enough to Oxford at that point to head to Thirsty Meeples.
Oh yeah, would be, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good shop. I think they've moved actually. They're in a bigger unit now, I think.
Ooh, if they're still surviving.
I think
well, that's true.
I think they will be. They're not. They've got a big online presence as well. So,
Okay.
yeah, I think they'll still be around.
Yeah, they're a board game shop as well now, more as much as anything else too. So, and a cafe.
Oh.
So they serve food. So as long as you serve food, I think you can still scratch a living just about at the moment. But
Well, on that happy note.
Just one last thing.
Oh yeah.
So, just like looking into hopefully a new year, and because it is like this coming out, hopefully Christmas Day is coming out. So happy Christmas, everyone! But
Christmas.
looking into the new year, do you think we'll be getting back to like conventions and things like that? Do you feel like you go back to conventions and that if like this starts getting under control? And
Joel, I would go back to a convention tomorrow.
would you?
And this is a disease that the average age of death is 82 in this country. For goodness sake, that's greater than the average life expectancy. For goodness sake, what are you doing? The whole thing's ridiculous. I've had enough.
Okay, that's going from a doctor.
that's the headline from the medical professional of the team.
That does not reflect. I would like to point out that does not reflect my profession, but that's my opinion, and I also stick with all the rules.
A few
I don't
moments
go against
later.
any decisions, but my personal opinion, if I were to have a vote on things, would be
Happy Christmas, everybody.
that's my argument. That's my argument for it.
Okay, moving to Sam.
I would say personally, I would either. I mean, but let's face it. I mean, if we take the example of UK Games Expo, that would be when would that be? That would be end of start of June, wouldn't it? End of May, start of June, potentially. So, assuming that they hit all the targets that they aim to for vaccination, which basically means anyone over the age of 50, hopefully, would have been vaccinated by that point, then I think at that point you've reached a threshold at which you could open up things because the people that are most vulnerable are protected now, and the NHS, as a result, will not be slammed, because that's the main thing, isn't it? It's making sure all your services can run and the place isn't just filled up with people being treated for COVID.
That is a more factor, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, as an example, like the things right now, it's a lot worse right now than it was back in the height of the first wave. There's I think there's 150 odd COVID patients in Exeter right now. And on average...
Devon has hit a lot more than it was. Devon was, the Southwest in general was just spared compared to a lot of other places.
Yeah, exactly. But it's definitely a lot worse now. And I think that's the same everywhere, is the fact that people have given up giving a shit for the most part. So, I still think there's room for us all to be cautious and sensible and all the rest of it, especially while, I and others have got, elderly relatives who you really do not want to be exposing to, we did a doorstep visit to my granddad yesterday, who's 97, and he hasn't been vaccinated yet. So it's like, I'd quite like to go and visit him a bit more. So as soon as he's been vaccinated, that's fine. I'll feel more comfortable. And the same goes for same goes for conventions. Be a case of I go to a convention, I'm fine or whatever, but then get it from some, I carry it even if I'm not symptomatic, bring it home. And, my dad's over 70 now, so it's like I accidentally give it to him. He hasn't been vaccinated yet. That's what I'd be worried about. So I would be content going to a convention like the UK Games Expo if we've reached a particular threshold of vaccination. I think that would be my answer.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't think they will run them unless we've got to that point as well. I think that would be the other thing.
That proves that. And we're waiting for this big vaccine. Apparently, it's going to all be fine now. But
oh no, it definitely won't be. But it's getting to the point, like I was saying before, is like I just want to get to a point where it will feel like you can open up better, or more. You can open up the economy a little more easily once you've at least protected those that are most vulnerable. So that would be my argument on that one. But I think we'll see. There'll be a lot more progress over the next 12 months, I would have thought, because they'll have had more time. Basically, this is a buying time exercise, I would have thought, more than anything else, isn't it? And you'd hope that there'll be a shed ton more studies, and the labs that are working on vaccines are actually. It's not like they're resting on their laurels. Go great. We've solved coronavirus now, lads. Let's just make enough of this stuff to get it.
But again,
they're working on more effective ones
now. It's the size of the population you want to give it to. Though I mean, they're talking about giving it to everyone in the country, and that's incredible numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
One good thing about COVID, thankfully, is it doesn't affect kids. Could you imagine if it was more like flu?
Oh God.
Get the very young and the very old.
Yeah.
I'm nothing against old people, but you've had a good innings. 2-year-olds haven't.
Yeah. Anyway, on that happy note, happy Christmas. But let's all sort of look forward to a better 2021, eh?
Fingers crossed.
Definitely. I can't believe the can of worms I keep opening here. So I'm going to try and put the lid on it.
You're like the BBC. You've got to hear from both sides of the story.
I thought we were going to get to the whole thing without mentioning COVID.
I think we failed right at the beginning, didn't we?
Probably.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, good stuff.
Thank you, gentlemen. And
very much.
Happy Christmas to everyone who is spending their only day they're allowed to be with relatives, if you have made that travel. I'm sure it's actually going to change, probably even between doing this
Christmas
recording
Eve.
and Christmas Eve. But if it doesn't change, happy Christmas. Enjoy being with your loved ones, and let's hope for a better 2021. And hopefully things can get back to some normality, that we can all get around the table again and play some board games, because I am really now going to miss it.
I miss it so much.
No. It's not the same as playing on Board Game Arena, is it, Sam?
Sorry, I accidentally slept my computer then. So I missed everything.
He's not that boring, Sam. Bloody hell.
But so yeah, right. Goodbye, everyone. And see you.
All right, mate.
In the new year for a new podcast.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon, mate. Cheers. Bye.
Right.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.